ladies and gentlemen, have you seen Reaper recently? Because I haven't. It seems that he's our favourite... Is he dead? No, well, he died and then he came back. Well, our favourite guy with the double shotguns, the Hellfire... Are they called Hellfire shotguns? I don't know. Something like that. Something edgelordy, ladies and gentlemen. Where is he? I don't see him in any games at all. In fact, the times I see him, he's usually dead on the floor because the enemy have picked him and it was not a great pick. Or somebody dares to pick him in our team and everybody's like, excuse me, could you please take Roadhog instead? Which is the big problem. So what the hell is going on with Reaper? Well, the problem with Reaper is he's the only character in this game where there is another character that does everything he does and just does it better. And that's Roadhog. It is Roadhog versus Reaper. Reaper versus Roadhog. And honestly, there's not really any kind of fight here. There's no competition. So let's take a look at a couple of quotes Jeff made when he came over to the UK for the BAFTAs. And this first quote, which I think is from the International Business Times or something, this is what he said to those guys. I think Reaper is somebody who ebbs and flows as the meta does. An example, when Anna's Nano Boost is used to give the movement speed buff. We
find that one, but I'm working on adding more local businesses.
What? Why did my... I'm not going to say its name because it's going to talk to me. Why did it just talk to me? Anyway, we were seeing a lot of Reaper in play at the time. The more we see Winston, the more we see Reaper. True. But still, Roadhog is better at killing Winston. Anyway, Reaper is a fantastic counter to Winston. I do think we'll see more Reaper as the meta shifts around. With that said, we're trying some stuff internally on Reaper right now. I don't know if it will see the light of day or not, but it's internal only right now. And I think, and it's only very minor, just a little bit of quality of life issues that we're trying to pick up with him. I think Reaper is not in a terrible spot. And that Amazon device, which I'm not going to name it because it will go, what you want again, really put me off then. Yeah, so Reaper, what's his problem? He was very strong when Anna had the movement speed buff to her Nano Boost. So if you remember back in Season 2, I think this was, it was the Beyblade meta. This was, all you literally did is you took a Reaper in every game, and as soon as Reaper got his Death Blossom available, which he could charge surprisingly fast, and Anna got her Nano Boost, you would Nano Boost the Reaper, which gave him the movement speed increase, gave him the damage increase, gave him the damage resistance, and he would fly into the enemy team at such a speed that he couldn't really be stopped. And you could couple this with Lucio's speed boost as well, and you would instantly wipe the enemy team with using 2 ultimates. Very, very cost effective. An awesome combination. A really boring combination because it was used in pretty much every single game all of the time. All of the pro level games, that's all they ever did. It was Beyblade, Beyblade, Beyblade. It was not very good. So things had to change. And what happened was, Anna had her movement speed component to her Nano Boost removed, and that meant suddenly Reaper went away because Reaper was not very good. Then we had the triple tank meta, and you would think, okay, Reaper's probably going to be pretty good. Triple tanks, Reaper is the anti-tank character. That's what he's billed as, right? Close range, massive damage, can rip the tanks apart. Only you didn't really see him. And the reason why you didn't really see him, because the way the triple tank meta was set up is it was based around Anna, right? Because her healing at the time was much better than it is now, although she's still really strong, and she could charge her ultimate faster as well. But it was Anna, it was Roadhog, it was a very powerful diva at the time, because remember her armor and health were changed around, and Reinhardt, right? Those 3 heroes, or 4 heroes, were the ones that kept this tank meta going. The problem with Reaper is Reaper could not get in and kill those tanks because Roadhog would shut him down. And this is the massive issue with Reaper. Roadhog is a better Reaper. Say it after me, guys. Roadhog is a better Reaper. If you're a Reaper player, you should play Roadhog. You're more effective in a lot of situations. Like Jeff said there, the more you see Winston, the more you see Reaper. And that's fair enough, you will. But I dare you to do this, guys. If you get Roadhog instead of the Reaper, watch how effective he is at destroying Winston. Like, Roadhog is a massively strong counter to Winston. All you have to do is hook him, headshot him, and then shoot him again, and he's dead. A lot of the times you can pull this off. Even if you don't, the fact that you've hooked the Winston is probably going to get him killed anyway, because Winston out of position is a dead Winston. You know, if he comes in and you hook him before he drops his bubble, or he comes in, he drops his bubble, he tries to escape, you hook him out of the sky. And I know this is difficult to do. I know it's not like an instant win. It's not like, oh yeah, I'm just Roadhog, so I'm going to kill the Winston. It's doable though, and it's much more effective than Reaper. You see, Reaper's problem is massive close range damage is great, right? And he does do more damage close range than a Roadhog does. over a period of time. The problem is, Roadhog, when he hooks you, pulls you right in front of him and hits you in the head with his left click and just pretty much kills you outright. Reaper can't really do that. Reaper's firing at you, firing at you, firing at you, but in sustained damage, Reaper will do more. So if Reaper was going to burn down a Reinhardt, for example, and he was landing all the headshots, he would kill him faster than a Winston. But the thing is, you look at that situation, you look at Reaper versus a Reinhardt, and then you look at Roadhog versus a Reinhardt. Reaper against the Reinhardt, well, he can just walk up to him and start shooting him, right? Reinhardt could maybe charge him, Reaper could Wraith form out of the charge or whatever. Thing with Roadhog, though, is he can just hook Reinhardt as he charges towards him, which stuns him, or maybe Reinhardt's trying to escape, no, because you hook him, then you hit him, and then you hit him again, and he's generally dead. It's massively powerful, and it's honestly a pretty big issue to me right now in the game that Roadhog is just a replacement for Reaper, because it's why you never really see Reaper, and it makes me sad because I want to see more Reaper in this game. I think I enjoy playing Reaper. He's a good character. And this is taken from the GameSpot interview, which again was done around the same time, just before the BAFTAs in the UK. I don't think it's terrible for there sometimes to be a situationally picked heroes in certain settings. One of the reasons that we've been very vocal, I almost want to say aggressive about, I don't want to say forcing, but highly encouraging the map pool to always stay large, we haven't reduced the map pool in competitive play, is because the map variety directly influences hero variety. There are areas like the streets of King's Row where Reaper is suddenly really viable for certain reasons, or you get into the backlot of Hollywood and now Widowmaker and Pharah are coming into play in ways that they weren't before. So this is a fair point, right? This means like through keeping map variety, you get more hero variety. The thing with Reaper is, like Jeff says, he's maybe a little bit better on the streets phase on King's Row. Alright, maybe. I think like in terms of the King's Row example, he's probably a bit stronger on the first point if you sit in the hotel and somebody comes into the hotel, you just kill them straight away. Anywhere where it's close range, Reaper's going to generally win, unless it's a Roadhog that comes in there, which will probably kill the Reaper if it hooks him. I mean, it has to hook him to do it. If it doesn't, then Reaper will be able to burn through. Like, one of the things I've kind of was surprised with Reaper is I forgot how much damage he actually does. Through playing him in the footage you can see in the background of this video, I was honestly amazed at how much damage he does, because I've just not played him for so long, and it's like, oh, actually, he does quite a bit of damage, Reaper does. So he's kind of viable in that way, but compared to the Roadhog, he's just not as effective at everything Reaper should be doing, which is a big issue. So talking about map-specific hero selections, we're always going to have this, and it is one of the elements that keeps the meta slightly fresh and slightly different. You know, you look at Temple of Anubis, right, on the final point. It's okay if you defend in there to bring out the Torbjorn. I do it quite a lot. Maybe bring out the Symmetra. Hanamura, first point. Maybe you bring out the Torbjorn, bring out the Symmetra. You know, these are very situationally picked heroes that work extremely well on certain points of the map. If I was to just play Symmetra every single... or Widow. Actually, Widow's a better example. So Widow, there are a lot... I know there's a lot of guys out there that play Widowmaker quite a lot. I've had them in my team. In fact, last night when I was playing Overwatch, I had a very stressful game where there was me and like 5 DPS and I was the only healer. It was interesting. But there was a Widowmaker, and all that person did was play Widowmaker. Now, okay, they were fairly highly rated. They were like 3.8k or something like that, which is a pretty good rating. But that was the ceiling. They're not going any further than that because they're not flexible, right? Widowmaker works in some situations. You could argue, right, Widowmaker works on every map, which she does if you get the picks, right? If you don't, or the enemy team start killing you, you've got to swap off the Widowmaker, right? So she becomes, like, yeah, she's very strong on certain maps. So if we go back to the map example, like, you could say on Hanamura first point attack, she's quite good. And I think Widowmaker's generally better on attack than defense, especially on the capture point maps, because you get a pick and you go in. King's Row, first point attack. You take a Widow, she gets a pick, it's great, right? Those are examples where the hero is very strong because of the map. If the hero is played on a map which it doesn't really work too well for that hero, then you start to get issues, and this is when you should start swapping your hero and all of that stuff. The problem with Reaper is designed to be an anti-tank, close-range hero. The only time he is effective is if the enemy team are going to walk up to you in close quarters combat and let you damage them, and they don't have a Roadhog there to basically kill the Reaper, or a McCree to flashbang you and then pop you in the head, right? If they don't have that, then you might be able to do something. My biggest issue is, and I know like a lot of you guys watching this video, you might have different thoughts to me because you play at a different level of the game than me, but where I play, Reaper is pretty much pointless because there are heroes that are just better than him, like I said, Roadhog. But if you look at the other heroes that are pretty much universal heroes when it comes to this game, if you look at, obviously, Roadhog, if you look at Soldier 76, if you look at Anna, you look at those heroes, they work on every single map in every single situation. Soldier is probably the best one to compare here to Reaper. Soldier works in every situation. If the Soldier is against the team comp that's not too great for him, maybe there's like an Orisa and a Reinhardt, so there's double barriers, or there's a Diva and there's a Reinhardt or something, the Soldier can still do work. It's not like, uh-oh, Soldier's no good. The problem with Reaper is, Reaper cannot do any work unless he's point blank on top of people, because if he isn't, then firing at range he does no damage, and he's really not doing anything. He should be playing a Soldier, because that Soldier could be doing damage while that Reaper's not doing anything. You get where I'm going, guys? That's the problem with Reaper. Now, what interests me is these minor changes that they're working on. What could they be? If you guys remember, it was the original cinematic for Overwatch. Reaper actually fires grenades. Like, maybe he had grenades at some point in development. That could be pretty interesting. Like, imagine if he could lob grenades in, sort of like Helix rocket style, every now and again, fire through grenades. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to do that, because Jeff has said these are minor changes. They're not like massive mega changes like giving him a new ability. So I mean, quality of life stuff for Reaper, I would like to know how this hero could be fixed and be made not viable in every situation, not like making sweeping changes to him, but making him sort of more selectable, you know, much like a Soldier is, or something like that, throwing in a bit of spice into the game, because yes, you can use him on certain maps, but he's just not that viable. Like, you would always take a Roadhog really instead of a Reaper. Guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Would you like to see a Reaper with grenades? How would you fix Reaper? Do you play Reaper? Are you a Reaper main? Don't you ever want to see Reaper again? I think he's honestly a very good candidate for one of these hero reworks, much like Lucio has just received, and much like Symmetra received before him, because I think he is stagnating. And you know what? Reaper is a hero that's never been changed since launch. I mean, he might have had very minor changes, but he is essentially the same hero he was at launch, very much like Tracer was as well. So he is one of the old kind of cast that probably needs something looking at. I mean, you could look at Hanzo and say, yeah, Hanzo is kind of the same as well. He's old school, but Hanzo works, you know, and Reaper kind of doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. This has been a discussion on Reaper, and well, he is currently RIP in the game, and it's a shame. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about Reaper, and I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.